You are watching the Mid-American Conference Women's Soccer Tournament on ESPN. With that, we welcome you high atop the Bryner Sports Complex. She is the two-time MAC champion, Lauren Roll, Joel Godett. So glad to have you along with us. Roll, Ball State has been here before. We talked with Sam Campbell, their senior forward, and she said, listen, as a freshman, I was eliminated in the quarters. As a sophomore, in the semis. As a junior, lost in the championship round. As Jake Taylor would say in Major League, as a senior, there's only one thing left to do, and that's win the whole dang thing. How does Ball State not get consumed with that and still be consumed with their process, play the game the right way?
Absolutely. I think a lot of it comes down to Coach Reif and how he coaches and teaches these girls how to play in high-stress scenarios.
Nikki Potts checks in. So your leading scorer now onto the field, a little extra punch with potentially 30 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in Ball State's season as the 2 seed. Well, they get an early run for her. Nikki Potts down the far side corner. Trapped by Ramadios. Como has a hand up wanting the ball. Deflected to Tatiana Mason now in the box. Tries to split two. Kerrigan Johnson, huge left foot. Great serve in front. Peyton Cook, the equalizer.
Goal for the Cardinals.
Kerrigan Johnson finds Peyton Cook wide open on the doorstep. Her third goal. And we're tied in Muncie, and the Cardiac Cards have to feel back in the driver's seat.
Beautiful backside run by Peyton Cook, making sure she was right there, that the second the ball hit the ground, it was connecting with her foot to go to the back of the net.
I think you saw Chelsea Abbott's put her hand up there thinking that maybe Cook was off. But a really good job to make sure she stayed behind that last line of defense. Eastern Michigan able to respond very quickly, though. Studeville peppered with 2 shots. Hullebarger's turned away. Como with the save in front. And Shira misses very high. And after tying the game, Ball State very nearly gave it back. And that's a look of relief for Tristan Studeville.
Very, very lucky for Ball State. Tristan Studeville doing a great job getting up and trying to protect that net as best she could.
The post is your best friend sometimes.
Sometimes, yes it is. I think that was a little bit of a reality check, that even though Ball State finally got their footing, game's not even remotely close to being over.
Well, here we go the other direction. Peyton Cook now feeds inside the box, and Abbott's smothers it. Well, if we're just going to trade looks like this for the next 29 minutes, we're going to need some heart medication. My goodness. I think those are the three best opportunities of the game between the two teams.
You might not necessarily think that they're connected, but I personally believe a lot of that started when Nikki Potts stepped onto the field. She was the one to make that first run down to the corner and make a play happen, which led to a Ball State goal. So I think a lot of it has to do with her presence on the field. I think she has a calming presence, as well as somebody who knows how to get a play started.
And off of Nikki Potts' leg, Ball State's leading scorer has 9 goals on the year. A lot of that right place, right time. But there's something to that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it takes a very intelligent player to know where to be and how to play off the players around her. You know, it's just great to see someone that has developed herself not into somebody that just wants to pass the ball off to someone else to get the glory. She wants to take it for herself.
It's funny, we had a chance to speak to her father and her mother, Adrian and Helen Potts, last week, and her dad said growing up, it would be between Nikki and someone else, and she'd say, here, after you take the shot.
Absolutely. When I played with her in my tenure at Ball State, that's exactly how it always was. She wanted to just make sure if there was somebody with a better opportunity, she gave him that opportunity. So
it was a tough kick out of the box for Tristan Studeville, right to the head of Peyton Davis. Does go out of bounds, so Ball State will take possession back, but could have been tricky. Kerrigan Johnson will handle most of the throw-ins on this side of the field. Clear over the head of Dombrowski, but wins it back on the near side from Aaliyah Frederick.
Great pressure by Peyton Cook coming all the way up and making sure that defender knew she couldn't turn or make anything happen.
Good look, Hullebarger out in front, and Lexi Smith takes away her angle. That goes out the back line, last touched by Lexi Smith, so it will turn into now a corner kick on the other side.
Fantastic job by Hullebarger, just being able to make a really great touch like that to keep the ball right in front of her and get a shot off.
And a good job by Lexi Smith, kind of out on an island.
Definitely.
Even though you give up the corner, it's better than a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Gives your team time to get back in front of the goal and get where they need to be.
Nicole Ramadios will be the trigger woman here. Hullebarger bouncing up and down in front of Studeville, looking back post and off ahead and over top, out of bounds. Peyton Davis got the pink headband up in the sky on it.
As you saw, Eastern was able to get someone in front of Tristan and make it difficult for her to see the ball, and that's exactly how Ball State has seen success on their corners, by placing someone in front of the keeper, making it difficult for them to see where the ball is at all times.
And if you're Tristan Studeville, then it just turns into a joust on the back line.
A roughing match.
We've got a roughing match in transition. Ball State into the box with Dombrowski. The ball gets away from her, and Lindsay Shira will chase it down to the far corner. And Eastern avoids what could have been disaster, although Ball State's still in its attacking third. Good serve in, Dombrowski nearby, but right into the midst of Chelsea Abbott's.
Chelsea Abbott's is definitely going to have a big game today. Her back line and her team as a whole is really relying on her to come out and be consistent the entire 90 minutes.
And it's the first time she's seen Ball State this year. Eastern Michigan has used a trio of goalies, Mabel Dunn at the beginning of the season, then Rebecca Prisbillo, and now Chelsea Abbott's. And they're all healthy, they're all available. It's been trying to find consistency, and as their coach Scott Hall put it, a consistent 90 minutes. Who can play a complete game? And Abbott's has been the one over the last 6 games. The Cardinals saw Prisbillo the last time Eastern Michigan was here, who they beat in overtime. Is there an impact to that as a defense when you've got a different general behind you?
It can be. I believe when I played at Ball State, we were going back and forth between Tristan Studeville and Alyssa Heinchel. And they definitely have different styles. You have to get used to how each keeper plays. Do they play quickly? Are they looking ahead? Are they looking to really possess the ball? And that's just something you learn through playing with them. So it's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but definitely changes the way your defense looks at your keeper.
And who's going to say what to you and how they align you.
Absolutely, yeah.
In different ways. This will turn into a Ball State free kick. And Studeville will come out and play it.
Definitely has the biggest foot, I believe, on Ball State's team, so not surprised that she's coming out to take this kick.
And good feet.
Yes.
She's a pretty good field player if she had to be one.
I remember practicing with her, and she was definitely very aggressive. Liked to be a little handsy when she was outside the box, but you're right, she was technically very good, especially for a keeper.
Sam Campbell to the outside, served back up for Nikki Potts. Tristan Studeville actually wanted to play football as a child. Her mom put the kibosh on that, and when her grandfather introduced soccer, she said, well, if I play goalie, do I get to hit people? And there was kind of a quizzical response, and the rest was history.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely could. She is a very competitive and aggressive keeper. Sometimes it's gotten her in trouble, but many times it's helped out Ball State's defense.
Did get a red card earlier this year, which she kind of laughed off and said, yeah, that wasn't good. Goal kick's taken away. Sam Campbell in front, has a step on the outside right, and it's kicked out away from her by Haley Towsend. But Ball State has incessant pressure here in the game's first 8 minutes.
That's something Ball State has consistently had throughout the year. It's just very, very solid pressure throughout the entirety of the game. Makes other opponents have to really work for any possession that they do have.
McNeil clears it out.
And exactly like that, our Ball State is right there, able to challenge that ball.
It's a really good ride by Simmons and then by Lexi Smith to get ahead on it.
Great composure, keeping the ball and switching the fields.
Kerrigan Johnson, big left foot. Campbell waiting for it, heads it to space. Dombrowski's off mark. Elbow was late getting there as well, and Ball State again with a good ride. That's off Towsend's head. Shelby Keene, one of your defenders, is pulled that far up. Ball State is aggressive.
Very aggressive with their back line. They like to get their outside backs up and into offensive plays. That way, you don't know where the ball's coming from, and they also have a majority of people up in their defensive third.
And that's what that man wants to do. Josh Reif in his first year changing a little bit of the style, certainly the formation and the system that Ball State wants to play with.
Body on the end of that pass.
Loose ball that Amanda Reed runs down. You talked about Ball State trying to find matchups and partnerships on the front line. That's been the thing for Kent State. They've had so many injuries, several ACL injuries that have shifted people around on the field. And the one thing Rob Marinero said about Shedenhelm's season is he wishes they could find her a partner, someone to play off of consistently and on a regular basis so she can find a rhythm on that front line.
Absolutely, and it makes a big difference when you do have that player. I remember playing forward in high school, and I always had that player that I played with who knew my runs, knew where I was going, was able to think the same exact way as me. I mean, it's a game changer. It makes you so much more dangerous. So finding a companion like that is definitely tricky, but once you're able to do that, you're almost unstoppable.
Natal Katz is the most likely candidate, but Kent also really loves what she can do in the midfield, so they don't want to take her from that role. It's just a moving puzzle piece. Kerrigan Johnson playing it up the far sideline and out of bounds. 6 minutes gone by here in the second half. Ball State has not trailed here at home. Took the advantage 3 minutes in on an own goal off a corner kick. Then Nikki Potts, who starts on the bench here in the second half, came through with her team-leading 7th goal of the season to make it 2-0. Shedenhelm to bring it within 1. Sam Campbell down the far sideline, out of bounds, picks up another ball very quickly and finds Mason on the throw-in. And off the goal line. Will that stay here or will it come out? It will come out. That'll be a goal kick for Faith O'Neill.
Great heads-up play by Sam Campbell, being able to immediately pick up that ball, see that Tatiana Mason was moving forward and make a play on it. Unfortunately, it just didn't go their way, but definitely a heads-up play.
Campbell doing a good job to mark Sierra Henderson-Machette there. That's one of those things they teach you as a youngster. When the ball goes out, find it and get it, throw it in quickly here.
Immediately.
Shedenhelm through, Vital Katz. She's the partner in front, and Tristan Studeville turns her away. We just talked about finding Shedenhelm someone to work with, and Vital Katz put her hand in the air.
Beautiful run, absolutely beautiful run and attempt, just unfortunately, again, hitting it right at the goalkeeper. Kent State would be a true contender for a higher pick in the MAC league, but unfortunately, they just aren't able to get the ball in the back of the net.
That's now 9 saves for Tristan Studeville as well. That's headed away. That's a season high. We have 38 minutes to go in regulation. 1 goal game. And it's Peyton Cook, a forward, bringing it up the near side. Plays to Mason. Has Sammy Corcoran, Ball State's usual holding mid, to her left. Also Hawkins Dabney up ahead. Ball's on her foot a long time. Elbow in the box. And Faith O'Neill comes out to take it from her.
Tatiana Mason doing a fantastic job seeing how it was clogged on the right side of the field and being able to take it away from pressure into the middle of the field, find space and find elbow for a beautiful through ball.
It's one of those times where the ball is continuously on your foot and you bring it up the field thinking somebody's going to come take it from you,
and
but
they just don't. Yeah, it would surprise a lot of people how far they can go until someone does confront them, especially when you are in that prime area that Tatiana Mason was in the middle of the field, because the defense doesn't know whether to step up because it might be too soon or whether to hold back and wait to make a move. So she did a great job there.
Kerrigan Johnson's throw in finds Mason. You can play with your head a little bit. Why haven't they come to mark me yet?
Absolutely. Kind of can freak you out if you're not used to being in those situations, make you lose the ball if you're not overly focused on what you're doing. Sam Campbell also being able to be that point of contact for that front line is fantastic this half. Checking her shoulder, making sure she has the space to turn and look up.
Throw in, taken back by Elbow. Here's Sam Campbell again, right into the box. Peyton Cook is offside. Second offside call against Ball State. It was Peyton Cook in the first half as well, but I'll give her credit for pushing her limits.
Absolutely. You want to see that from your players every now and then, to know that they're being aggressive. They're trying to get right on the edge of that back line, but more so comes the problem when it happens all the time. But Ball State is doing a very good job this game, pushing their limits.
Sam Campbell hates offsides. She's told us it's a missed opportunity. It's like the bane of her existence. But one here and there.
One here and there, you can't always help. Sometimes it's a wrong call. Sometimes you're just a step off. It's just a part of the game. Definitely agree with her, though. Couldn't tell you how many times in my career I was called offsides, and also didn't believe the refs. So.
I knew exactly where I was standing.
Oh, yeah. In the heat of the moment where I wasn't looking, I knew exactly where I was, of course.
You didn't see where I was. Free kick for Kent State. Played to the top of the box. Off the head, right in front of Studeville. Cleared out by Peyton Cook, and then off the head of Harris. And the one Josh Reif calls the T-Train, the transfer from Mississippi State. Played for Ball State's head coach when he was an assistant in the SEC. Just can't find the back of the net.
I mean, something as simple as this. Tristan Studeville is out of position. She's getting hit by her own players. That could have easily been a tying goal.
Number 11, Grace Wolber.
And that's a free kick where you just put it in a dangerous spot and let it ping pong.
Absolutely, which is why even though when they are at half field for free kicks, giving up those opportunities can be dangerous.
Grace Wolber has checked back in for Kent State. True freshman on the front line. And Faith O'Neill has her time to think about it. Tatiana Mason will make her pick it up.